I remember there's one day I was in the mountains of Ecuador, and me and my family were going on this last mountain that had this almost touristic massive swing that basically swung you completely off the mountain. And I wanted to go on it, but there was a little issue. I was afraid to actually go on it. But usually I do enjoy going on roller coasters and this kind of thrilling things. But for some reason this just terrified me. And I was looking around and I saw this smaller swing that was kind of like the same idea, but it just looked safer. But immediately my mind thought, nah, that's for like some pussy stuff. It was so small and it looked so boring. And I really wanted to go on the big swing. But I'm still standing there almost in this little hub, deciding whether I should go, whether I shouldn't. Maybe it'll be fun, but it's kind of like scary, whatever. Until one thought arises in my mind. And it literally changed my whole reality, and it made me change my mindset from me being scared of the swing to me actually being excited to go on the swing. Therefore, me and my brother gear up and we walk up this little platform. Them two girls that also wanted to do it, and then me and my brother go. And as soon as it was let go, there was like just a massive bowl of fear. But as soon as that initial fear was over, it was actually so fun to just swing and see this amazing view. And now that I look back at it, I'm so grateful that I actually did that, because I would have missed an amazing experience just because of a little bit of fear. And the mindset that I thought of that day was, imagine you're 80 years old and on your deathbed, you would never wish you had fewer crazier stories. Because let's imagine this, imagine you're in your deathbed and you're about to pass away and you get like that almost wave, a flock of past memories, almost like you see your life flash before your eyes. And imagine all you see is just missed opportunities because you were too afraid, you didn't want to go, you didn't want to do this, you were just procrastinating or something. And that would be just over and over again, missed experiences, procrastination. That would be such a massive pain in your chest. That would actually flipping hurt. But we can't really change the past. But this story that I just told you was the day where I learned how to literally overcome my fear in anything, in business and speaking to girls and just doing like fun stuff. Because it's that fear. I'm running away from that fear of just looking back at my life and seeing just a boring, just missed opportunities and all of that. It feels horrible, and you probably feel this too. You feel like, imagine you're looking back at your life and all you see is just horrible. You miss opportunities, you didn't do this, you were too afraid, and you almost regret. You have so many regrets just weighing you down. Compared to, imagine you look back and you did this competition, you spoke to this girl, you went to this class, you did so many things, and you now get to look back. Even though it was painful at the moment, it'll be so much worth it when you're looking back at it 5, 10, even a few months from now. But there's still another mindset that I learned to overcome fear, that it doesn't only overcome fear, but it almost turns it into excitement. Because I remember this one day I was sitting in my room, and the next day I literally had MMA and some judo classes. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I was actually afraid because first of all, I haven't really been doing judo for a while, so I'll be kind of like rusty at it, and I kind of didn't really want to go, so I was a little bit nervous. And with MMA, I'm pretty new to striking. I'm usually only used to just grappling, judo, and Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And I remember I tried to ignore the thought, but it almost got worse and worse and worse. When I was trying to go to sleep, I just had this thought. Until I remember something that I learned after doing this massive competition in Devon that I actually ended up losing, but whatever. I learned something which was valuable, and that was that I told myself I'll actually be excited to go to MMA and judo because it means I'll actually get to practice new skills and learn new stuff, and I almost feel this little bit of excitement. I told myself that I'll be excited, and therefore I actually started acting more excited. I thought about the positives rather than the negatives. And the reason this works is because your mind can't tell the difference between you being anxious and you being excited. Because imagine you're about to give this massive presentation in front of like a huge group of people. Your palms are going to start getting sweaty, you're going to feel like knots in your stomach. That's a common signs of nervousness. But imagine and since your body reacts the exact same way when you're nervous and when you're excited, the only thing that really matters is how you really interpret it. Because imagine you tell yourself that you're actually excited to give this massive speech and you're almost excited to share your ideas, and you've been practicing your speaking skills. You can almost turn that negative force into a positive, and you'll give such a better speech and you feel so much more confident by doing that rather than just telling yourself you're nervous, you're nervous, you're nervous. Just keep repeating yourself that you're actually excited, and your mind will actually believe it. But I remember, to bring this tactic to a whole new level, you don't just want to tell yourself you're excited and expect your mind to believe it, because that kind of doesn't really work. You almost want to tell yourself you're excited and give a little reason why. Because I remember when I was in MMA, when I was about to do MMA and judo, I was thinking to myself, I should be excited because in judo, you know, there's this little tactic that me and my friend found out, which is whenever you're doing like a martial art, you can just like go onto Instagram Reels and like learn some combos or some like attacks with it. I'm not gonna lie to you, basically 90% of my knowledge comes from Instagram Reels because they always give such good ideas. But anyway, getting back to the point, I was always like so excited to try these new Instagram reel moves that I found out, like this one where you like grab both their sleeves, you bring them onto your back. It almost gave me a reason to actually go. And same with MMA, I thought to myself that I actually learned how to strike, and I'm actually pretty good at kicking. So the simple takeaway is that your body can't tell the difference between being nervous and you being excited. The only difference is how you interpreted it, and the only way you can control it is if you tell yourself you're nervous, you're going to be nervous. If you tell yourself you're going to be excited and give yourself like a good reason, like I'm going to be excited because of this, I'm going to be excited because I'm going to learn something new or whatever, then you're going to feel excited, and therefore you're going to be more confident, and therefore you're just going to have a way better experience. But that lesson of turning fear into excitement wasn't the only lesson that I learned that day of MMA and judo, because after MMA and judo I went straight to the gym and I was starving. I was just pushing myself to failure. My belly was rumbling, I was so thirsty, and when I finally go back home, it felt amazing to finally have my first meal. And after having that amazing, like super difficult, like 5 hours of MMA, judo, and going to the gym, I almost had this massive amount of confidence that I carried out throughout the week in school. And I realized that everything I really want is just at the other side of a wall of pain. Because let's be honest, me and you, we probably want to be more confident. We want to achieve some goals. We want to make some money. We want to attract a girl. And the only way you can actually achieve this is literally just by a wall of pain, of going to the gym, of practicing social skills, of getting rejected like I have a few times. And this is something that Hamza Ahmed, if you know him, I'll just put up a picture just in case. But this guy literally said that a man's life should be 50% pain. And when you hear that, you might feel like a little bit afraid. It's like, oh, my life is just going to be pain, pain, pain. That's going to be like so horrible, just a horrible life. But I almost see it like as a privilege. Because think about the fact, first of all, you get used to the pain after a while, after you do it once or twice. Because imagine, let's say you're waking up early at 6 a.m. Like one day, let's say normally you wake up at 10 a.m. But this day you're going to wake up at 6 a.m. The first day is going to be hard. The second day is going to be like a little bit tough, but you can do it. The third day, you're starting to get used to it. The fourth day, the fifth day, the sixth, seventh day, the ninth, you're basically used to it by now, and then you just wake up at 6 a.m. consistently every single day. And waking up at 6 a.m. doesn't feel like a chore anymore, but it just feels like part of you. And you actually get used to the pain. Even though 50% of your life should be pain, you get used to it, and therefore you almost connect the pain connecting to you actually achieving your goals, therefore pain actually being exciting. So see pain almost like a gateway, almost like a privilege, a gateway towards your goals. Imagine this massive track, and there's guys to your right, guys to your left. It's almost like a massive competition, and you have to jump over these hurdles. It's almost like every single time you jump over these hurdles, you're learning something new, and you're getting ahead of all these other guys, and the finish line is almost like your dream life. Now everybody wants it, but only a few people can have it. For example, with the story that I just told you of me going to MMA and judo and gym at the same day, it could have been like me metaphorically skipping this hurdle by walking around it, not going to gym, MMA, judo, and therefore I would have learned this experience, and it would have felt good at the moment. I would have been in my room and I would have felt a little bit of pleasure by not like skipping all these difficult stuff, but I would have probably regretted it and not had as much confidence throughout the week. So when you really think about it, doing the hard stuff just makes you better overall. It just makes you feel better over the course of 1 week. Because what would you rather have, 3 hours of pleasure now or 7 days worth of pleasure in 1 week just because you did this 3 hours of pain? I think it's better to have 7 days of pleasure rather than 3 hours of pleasure. Because I remember a few years ago, I made a crucial mistake when it came to judo. Because I used to have this friend, and he used to be kind of like a little bit worse than me, let's be honest. I used to throw him, he used to be okay, he was like learning. But then after a while, I stopped showing up to classes often because I was almost like trying to do this entrepreneurship, doing my business, copywriting. And he started doing this extra class every single Saturday and Monday. And I was sometimes skipping the only Monday class that I used to do, and I wasn't really learning too much about judo at the time. So over the course of 1 week, over the course of 1 month, nothing really changed. But over the course of a few like months and a few basically years, the compound effect obviously took action, and therefore this guy became better than me. My friend was like throwing me left and right, and I literally couldn't do anything. I was like just worse than him, and this almost hurt my ego. And every single time I went to judo lessons, I was like nervous because I'm almost like a shell of what I could have been. I could have been up here, really here, because I've been like skipping lessons and whatever. After a while, I decided to lock in and actually just like learn relentlessly. And there's like another tiny lesson that I can tell you, that learning literally makes a difference between basically a noob and a pro. I know that's not like silly terms, but it literally is the truth. Think about the fact that the only difference between a rich person and a poor person is just really the knowledge that they have. So obviously my main source of knowledge when it came to judo was just Instagram reels, looking at other people's ideas and therefore just copying the successful ones and just eliminating the non-successful ones. And over the course of months, I actually became as good as him, and now we have like such amazing fun lessons because we're just practicing on each other and we're just as good. And every single time we do randori, which is like sparring, it's almost like a tension where me and him are like about to throw each other, but like we're like defending, we're like attacking, we almost get throws, but then we just don't. And this really contrasts to the fear and the anxiousness I used to have going into every single one of these classes, because I used to be almost like this shell of the person that I could have been. But now every single lesson is almost more fun than the last. And something that you've probably experienced, something that I definitely feel is like, you almost think that the compound effect would just take too long to actually make any difference. You think about the fact you almost feel the pain in the gym right now, but you only really see results 3 months from now, and you only really hear it like other people noticing probably like 6 months from now. So you almost get the feeling like, what's even the point? But something that our mindset that actually destroyed that almost limited belief, horrible belief, was just thinking to yourself, think about the fact that the time will pass anyway, and you only really be left with the results. If you think about it, you can either start looks maxing, go to the gym, doing whatever right now, which obviously right now you're not going to see any results in the first week, to be honest, maybe even in the first month. But over the course of 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, you're going to look back, you're going to look at yourself in the mirror, and you can see your amazing physique, your amazing face, and every single time you're going to remember of the time when you actually started. You didn't see any results, but now you do, and you're so grateful that you started that 1 month ago, that 2 months ago. Because also think about it, most people have the same mindset. So almost here almost like this superpower that you have, that you can literally just wait out and get any results you really want. Because think about it, you can literally nowadays you can literally build your life. You can start a business, you can build your own physique, you can track as many girls as you want. Because when you really think about it, back in like the caveman time, you didn't really have this privilege. You were kind of just born with the genetics you had, and you just kind of had to live with that. And you didn't really have like YouTube to teach you how to become a better person and all this stuff like this. So almost see it like as a privilege, or at least that's how I see it. So it gives me like almost a positive mood, and almost be grateful for how hard things are. Because imagine if everybody had a six-pack, then it wouldn't really be valuable, would it? And the main thing out of these 3 lessons that I just told you was that it's okay to have fear. And there's almost like fear is just really excitement, and you can overcome fear by just kind of running away from the pain of you looking back and almost seeing this painful life that you skipped and procrastinated on fun stuff that you could have done. For example, like imagine you're 80 years old and you're on your deathbed and you're just looking back at your life and everything just seems boring. I'm almost running away from that pain. And you can turn pain, almost this fear, into excitement, and also you get used to the pain after a while. For example, the first MMA class that you go to, you might be a little bit afraid that you're going to get basically dominated. But after a while, you're going to get good. You're going to watch some YouTube tutorials. You're going to watch some Instagram reels. You're going to learn. You're going to improve. And therefore, it's just going to become fun. Even though some people might think it's painful. You're like, oh, every single day, you're so disciplined. How are you doing this? You're waking up so early. But for you, it's just a normal day. It's just fun for you. Making things fun is such a powerful superpower. For example, I'm actually enjoying recording this video. I don't know why. It just makes me feel good, like sharing ideas, because it helps me like reinforce them, and it helps other people, and people become better, and therefore I like meet better people, and it's just like a whole cycle around society in a way. I'm learning through my experience. I'm just sharing what I've learned through my own experiences, through my own learning lessons, through my own mistakes and successes. I'm just teaching you what has worked for me. What I realize is that pain is a time for you to grow and learn, and every single time you avoid it, you're just basically plateauing. Imagine you're like in this line graph, and every single time you face pain, you go up and up and up. But then when you skip pain, you just kind of flat line, and you almost really go down until you face some more pain and you start learning and improving and start growing and just getting better. Because almost visualize this. Imagine you are like, I don't know, however old you are. You're pretty old, let's say. You're kind of old and you're sitting there with your grandchildren. And let's say you have this magical TV and you turn it on and it just displays a whole movie of your life. Now imagine, what would you actually see? Would you see like an amazing, full tension, exciting movie? Or would you just see yourself kind of skipping, procrastinating, not really being that great? Or will it actually keep them on edge and actually feel them excited for you to see your transformation from going to like basically being stuck to the normal habits? I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm just gonna use myself as a reference. Being like stuck in the normal habits, just like playing video games, being so horrible, learning about self-improvement, improving, and every single time you learn something new, you face the pain, and every single time it's just an exciting new thing. Like, oh, you did this swing, oh, you went to this competition, oh, you did this amazing thing, and just again and again and again, these amazing things. Would it be like that, or would it be boring? Because this is a mindset that I know would definitely help you, because it definitely helps me. It's almost like a fear that I'm running away from. I don't want my grandchildren, even though obviously it's just like a silly imagination, but it's really valuable for you. You're almost running away from this pain of having like this boring movie about yourself. And imagine your grandchildren just looking up at you, like these little grandchildren, and they look at you and they just see like a boring film. That's gonna hurt, or at least for me, that would hurt so badly. So imagine just them looking up at you, not even looking up at you. Let's say their eyes are literally glued to the screen on how excited your movie is, your life was. That's something that will definitely help you, and it's almost like a mindset that I've learned. I'm not gonna lie to you, it literally came from like a YouTube short, but even these tiny little bits of knowledge are these like amazing gems that have really changed my life, and they'll probably change your life for you too.